Are we all set up? And here we are. Welcome.
Yeah, it's so nice to be here.
We're here! Yay! This has been a long time coming. We've been preparing for this for approximately 5 years, maybe?
Could be.
So it's been a long time.
Yes, and we are really, really happy to be here
Yes,
and to be sharing
together.
this adventure with everybody. And we want to welcome you to the HeARThlife Circle.
Welcome. And there's no retakes here, no redos, no do-overs. So whatever you see, you see. This is all natural, and this is a very important day for you because you're here to create and recreate yourselves and your projects. And we're here to guide you. So Gail Butters Cohen.
Nanette Saylor.
And welcome. Welcome to our circle.
So we're going to start. Gail and I, in our own practices, and even when we come together, have come to really appreciate the value of ritual as it relates to setting the stage for your time to create. And even though today we wanted to really make the point that you do not have to have a fancy studio, you don't have to be anywhere special. We are here in a kitchen with a pile of supplies. We also wanted to anchor that it is important to start with something ritual.
Definitely to close ourselves off from the outside world, to put our phones on silent. I shouldn't even have this here, but I have to check the time. To silence if we have a home phone, put that on hold, put a do not disturb on your door, and set that little bit of time to set up a boundary between yourself and whether it's your coworkers or your family, and let them know that this is a very, very special time for you, and you really appreciate having that time to just sit in serenity and create and enjoy your time with us, because we're hanging out together. That's all we're doing here.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But it should be just us hanging out, not
Not
else.
not
Nobody
anyone.
else is invited, just us.
That's great. So we typically start with a candle. You don't have to start with a candle, but let's go ahead and light our candle.
I almost couldn't find the matches. Nanette and I do not have a plan beyond our ritual today. So, que sera, sera. And please just enjoy yourself. Three candles, three lights for the past, the present, and most of all, for the future. Nanette, did you have something that you wanted to read to us?
I did. When Gail and I first got together, one of the very first workshops we did was a workshop that she coined Seed the Day. And that idea has stayed with us since that time. And so as we were preparing for this series of creative play workshops, the two of us really said, you know what, let's bring that. Let's bring the Seed the Day concept and the idea, the feeling of that every day begins anew.
Right.
Just like seeds sprout and grow into these amazing things, whatever they are.
We have our little apple seeds here, and if you don't have an apple around, I have some sesame seeds, anything in your house, or you could draw a seed.
Yeah.
Okay, just a little teeny little circle could be your seed.
And this is the beginning. So to honor that, I'd like you to just quietly listen as I read this little expression to you that was a creation of ours a while ago, a combination of both of our words and thoughts. And really more than anything, it's the feeling, it's the thought, it's the intention behind the idea that when we sit to create, we are opening the opportunity for a whole new experience every single time.
No
And
plans.
Yeah.
No plans.
So here we go. Today I begin anew. Today I open my heart. I release all judgment and I detach from negative and limiting beliefs. I accept simply that I am. I ask for guidance from you, my muse, and I allow myself to receive. I invite the creative energy within me to lead me to more expansive ideas and to positive thoughts. I trust that you will guide me, and it is safe to follow. All is well in my world. And so it is.
All is well right here.
Absolutely.
How about if we take a few deep breaths?
Yes.
Just to let it go and
Yeah.
give ourselves some room inside of ourselves, not just our hands and our eyes, but inside of ourselves, just to make space and make some important room for us to allow ourselves just to enjoy the time and to play and expand. So how about 3 breaths?
Yeah.
In through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, please notice if there's anywhere in your body that feels tight, if you're feeling a little anxious about this because it's new to you. The videoing is kind of new to us a little bit. I feel a little tightness in my shoulders and my neck,
It's okay to
my
move.
hands. I'm gonna bop around a little bit, stretch like the beautiful trees outside.
Oh, yes.
Now, we're in sunny South Florida, but it's a rainy day. And some of you may be in another part of the world, whether it's in Australia or Canada or somewhere else, and you may have snow on your trees or outside. But no matter what, those trees are standing tall and standing strong, just like you. So if you feel okay to do this, how about you, Nanette?
Yeah.
How about a big tree stretch and open up your branches and gently wiggle your little twigs, your leaves. And let's get ready.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to party.
Yes. So one of the thoughts that came to mind for us was that we really are inspired by nature. And so today's theme for our creation is around nature and this idea of trees and how powerful they are, how connected they are. And so we have one just quick little introduction to the healing meditations of, you're going to have to pronounce that name for me because I don't know this.
Simple exercises for health, peace, and well-being. And I'm taking it from this little book over here. And just quickly, contemplating the beauty of trees is a simple way to connect ourselves with the healing energy of nature. First, consider the qualities of a tree. Its amazing character, which to our eyes is changeless and ageless day in and day out. Its strength in wind, storm, or sun. Its tolerance of cold or heat. Its beauty in snow or rain. Its aliveness. And there's way more about trees in here, and we've all been guided by trees throughout our lives, just watching them outside our windows, outside the schoolyard, outside our offices. And we watch the resilience of those trees. And this is a woman's group. I'm not going to use the word empowerment because it's something that I think we all naturally, innately have inside of us, and we forget. And when our days are tough and we're just inundated with so many issues and our to-do list, we forget that we are just like those trees. And in spite of what might be going on around us, we still have those roots. And we have to feel your feet rooted in the floor. And know that no matter what, we can bend, we could flow, we could twirl, but we won't necessarily break. And if anything, for every season that comes, there's new growth. So we go from the seed to the roots, to the tree trunk, to the branches, and then the leaves. And today we're going to be playing with if you live in a cold climate, it's not important to have this, but I'm just saying that Nanette and I have this today, is we have some dried flowers from a recent Thanksgiving beautiful bunch that I have and several floral arrangements that I received. And we've collected some pieces of nature from outside. We have, as was on our list, we have tissue paper, my little surprises that I'm going to tell you about as we're creating. I just have corrugated paper and ribbon, and whatever you're called to do to create. It doesn't have to be this. This is simply a sample, an idea that I created on just an old piece of tile. This was created on a mini canvas, and it just has tissue paper and a little bit of metallic paint and some words on it. And the words say, here we are, I'm giving myself away. Something at work in my soul. So that called to me, and I added it at the end. So the very simple, most simple way to begin is just to decide what substrate you're going to want to create on. So this I actually tore off of, and I cut off of an old oatmeal box. And same with this, just a piece of cardboard, nothing fancy. So if you didn't have time to prepare, that's absolutely fine. And then we have a possibility of a little box that we could create on. And Nanette and I haven't decided what we're using yet, but you're open to use anything that you want. And as a gift to everybody who showed up for our live broadcast today, we will be mailing you a yummy little bonus package with a mini canvas and some little surprises. Not necessarily what's in here, but this is one surprise package, some ribbon and some papers of your own. So you could do something else, maybe create a gift for somebody or yourself. And this is just for you for showing up for our very first broadcast. So welcome. And we will begin today. There's something on the screen, maybe. That's probably it. We could just, can everybody see over here? I think that it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose my substrate. What are you going to choose today, Nanette? I know what I'm choosing. How about a piece of chocolate? And these have messages inside, and sometimes they're really odd messages, but I'm going to check out what mine is. And you out there are welcome to check out yours. This says, buy something frivolous. I did that last night.
There you go.
Yes, it was. I walked out of this place and I said to my husband, is this what you call impulse buying? I started to buy my holiday gifts.
Yes.
And it was really fun. And cheers to chocolate.
Ooh, yes.
So what are you choosing today, Nanette?
One of the things I wanted to share with everybody is some of you know that I am an active repurposer and have been rummaging in my trash for a long time. And so what Gail and I thought as we put these projects together is that it would be fun for you to see what formal art materials look like as a possibility for creating your beautiful little tile. And then the other option, which is just to use whatever it is that you have, which might be, this is a paper towel roll, and I literally pulled this from my paper recycling bin this morning. The paper towel roll, we have a piece of paper towel, I have a bag from the grocery store, I have some of the paper that fruit comes wrapped in. This is a mailing envelope with this wonderful, I love the texture. And when this is shredded.
Oh, fun pieces.
Yeah, it comes in. That's what caught my eye, was this fun piece that could be, even if I can't get outside to get twigs,
you could create.
I could create a twig from this. So all of these things. And then
it's literally thinking outside of the box.
And one of the things that I think this creative time, I hope will inspire everyone to do is just that, is to look with new eyes at all the things that you see in your world.
Right. The projects that we're going to be having in upcoming weeks also will give you new insight into seeing your world in a different way, whether it's the clouds, whether it's strange marks on the sidewalk or in your garden. We will help you see the world in an entirely different way, and perhaps in a way that you used to see it as a child.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful because everything was filled with wonder at that time and everything was magical.
I think that I want to use, you had a piece of that oatmeal box that was.
Oh, to make a bookmark?
Yeah. No, to make the tile.
Okay.
Oh, here, this one.
Okay, so that's yours.
That worked for me.
I haven't decided what I'm using here. You could use this for your supplies.
Collection of goodies.
Yes. So we have nothing fancy here. The most essential things for you to have in your home for every day, no matter what activity we're doing, is generally some glue. This is Mod Podge, which I don't normally use, but any type of glue that, or anything that would adhere paper or product to a substrate would be fine. Scotch tape, markers and scissors. I don't know if you could see that. Markers and scissors. A notebook is always important if you want to write notes to yourself. Reminders, or if you have a process that you enjoy, just record it. If you're saying, I have no idea what to do, I never did art, truthfully, until about 10 years ago, I never did either, and I'm getting close to 60 years old. So since I was a child, I have not been creative. And I have something called a color wheel here, which to me is the most complicated thing. I don't understand it. But what I do when I'm creating, no matter what it is I very often will look at my own clothing, at decor in my house. I'll go through my closet and search for colors that work together. And that often helps me. Why reinvent the wheel? Somebody already put those colors together before, and I was attracted to them.
And nature, of course,
absolutely
has this the awesome combinations of
right.
colors.
Just
so
look outside.
Look outside.
Right. Even on a snowy day, there's contrast.
Oh,
so we have the whites
contrast.
and the darks, and the red car whizzing by, or the snowsuits, the colorful snowsuits on the children. So I'm going to choose. I think I'll do. I want to do something simple. What are you using? A square or?
Yeah, I'm going to use a square.
Okay, it doesn't have to be a square. It could be a rectangle. I could do another tile. Oh, yeah, here, you know what?
Oh, yeah, the wood.
I found this piece of wood. It was a wood sample. I don't know if it was from Home Depot or actually is, but I guess somebody gave me a sample and I've had it lying around and I saved everything just in case of something like this. So I will create a bookmark after if we have time, but what I would like to incorporate at some point in my collage, and this is collage, is a seed to remind myself. So it doesn't have to be at the beginning. And there's no need to take your favorite thing and put it down first. You could take your time and save your favorite things until the end. So what you're doing at first is just building up texture at the bottom. So I could literally close my eyes right now and choose anything from this pile. So I'm choosing some tissue paper. And I guess the color I'm starting with intuitively, not really, my eyes were closed. But if I were to choose something, I'm really attracted to the yellow and the turquoise I'm seeing here.
And so let's assume I don't have any colored tissue paper.
Okay.
I have only this off-white that came in my shoebox yesterday.
I will show you. I have something else here. I have tissue paper from gifts. People have given me gifts, and I say that. But right here, I have a piece of paper towel.
There you go.
And look at this paper towel. It's not white anymore. Why? I dipped it in tea and let it dry. So I have a beautifully, in fact, I'm going to start with this. I have a beautiful piece of paper here right now. I didn't need to go to the art store. I didn't need to do anything fancy. or purchase anything other than use an old piece of paper towel. And I dyed, here you have tea right there.
I have tea right here. Thank you,
So
Gail.
I am going to take my glue and put a little bit on my plate just so I have some glue available to me. And I shouldn't be doing it like this because I'm going to make a mess. There's a spoon here.
And I think it's important too to acknowledge that you don't have to have a special tool. Here's a plastic spoon. You know, there no fancy spatulas required.
You don't even need brushes. I love
Yeah.
using my fingers.
Yeah. And yes, we will get dirty. If you don't want to get your fingers messy, I know people who use gloves.
I have baby wipes here too.
I'm not a fan. I don't use the plastic gloves very often, but you certainly can.
I have baby wipes
And I
just to wipe my hands as I'm going.
Yes, and that's a great tip.
Yeah, when you're collaging, very often the papers are going to stick to your fingers.
Messy. Yeah.
Try to keep your fingers as clean as possible between applications. You know, you can put 2 or 3 pieces of paper down, but eventually you'll want to protect your fingers so you could put more pretty pieces on. So I'm putting glue on here to start.
Ah, there you go.
It's not
and
the
I'm
best
over
idea.
on my side here doing the tea. And I also want to share with you that there's the possibility that I can add some.
You could draw on your
I can draw
paper towel.
on my paper towel.
With your markers, is that what you're using?
And I'm using a marker, and then it almost smears like a watercolor to add this additional texture to it.
Water.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just adding some of that textured paper towel, textured and colored paper towel to start a base on here. And I don't need to cover the whole thing, but I'm letting the pieces of paper tell me what to do.
So for now, because this is wet, I'm not going to use it today, but I wanted to illustrate for everybody how you could get started. And because this was a mint tea, the color's not as pronounced as the color that Gail has, but the idea is we're playing, right? We're experimenting.
Done that with the pomegranate tea. Ooh. And is it that South African tea, Rubio's?
Yes.
It gets a really pretty red color. This, my friends, is a product that I've discovered by accident, and I hope it actually glues down, but it is from my dryer sheets. It was an unscented dryer sheet, and I dipped it in my tea, and I added turmeric to it. And I didn't really have time today to dip it and get the color that I would have hoped for, but it has a beautiful yellowish tinge to it, and if you could see the edges, which are frayed, it's really pretty, and you could see through it. So whatever I put underneath will show through. Yeah. So nice. I think I am going to take some of this. By the way, if you're using paper napkins, they are 2-ply, and it's not easy to separate them, but they do separate. So you get a thinner version, and it's easier to glue down. You see how that's separating? There you go. And I'm just going to get rid of that white piece and save the pretty colors and glue that down. Try not to think too much. Just play and put it down. You cannot make a mistake here. Just enjoy it. This is just practice and play. Nothing more, nothing less. And if you want tips at the end on how to spruce it up, I'm happy to share those. Right now, just cover whatever substrate you have with anything that you are called to touch.
And substrate, by the way, is that fancy artist word for the base.
Cardboard, canvas, whatever you decide to use. Yes, that's the fancy word. This is how I started doing art, was just doing collage. And I believe I started on glass bowls and plates, doing reverse collage, which I will be happy to teach everybody in this group at some point, because it's a wonderful way to present your guests with their candy and nuts and just to decorate your home. I love doing that. So everybody has to start somehow, whether you're a seasoned artist or you're a beginner. I think I'm drawn to a lot of color today.
Well, and
How
on
about you?
purpose, I am using a little less color because I wanted to illustrate that, again, without fancy papers. This is simple paper towel. This is that same tissue paper that came from my shoes. And I've grabbed one little piece here, and you see on one side it's pink, purple. On the other, it's not. And I'm going to add that.
Oh, and you're going to add the knot side.
And I'm going to add the knot side.
I like that.
Yes.
You might even be able to see through that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I love what you're doing. I like that you're really keeping it simple.
It'll be interesting to see if any of that tone bleeds through as I add the glue to the top.
If anybody does want to use a brush, I should demonstrate how to use a brush. Dip the brush in the glue. Depending on what you're using and how thick it is, just put the glue on your fancy substrate or unfancy substrate, maybe your cereal box, and then add whatever piece you would like to that. Right on top, and you could use as much glue as possible. Do not worry about creases or tears, because that's what's going to make your piece even more interesting and more unique. I'm even going over the sides, actually.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say, I like to do that too. On pieces that have a border, I like to go around the side.
Right.
Now, here's a great thing I wanted to illustrate, because this is something that used to frustrate the heck out of me, that my fingers would get glue on them, and now these things are stuck. And thank you,
Hence
Gail.
the paper towel.
Yeah, and the baby wipes.
Yeah, or
right?
just go, I mean, the part I love about working in my kitchen is I could just go to the sink and wash my hands off, which I'll do right now.
But it is an important thing to remember, because yes, when your fingers get sticky, and all of a sudden it can be frustrating when a piece all of a sudden pulls up that you have.
Especially if it's a favorite piece.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to open up a magazine and try to find some words that speak to me here. And it won't be about shape or weight or children or any of the things that over concern us. Right now, it's just for ourselves. Oh, I like this. This says still life. And it may have not been referring to what I'm doing, but it definitely resonates with me right now to keep stillness in my life. I might save this for, well, I might put it on now. How about you, Nanette?
Okay, so as Gail was saying earlier, once in a while you get a tear. And so the beauty of this is, with a little glue and another
you have room for
piece,
something else.
I can just cover it up.
Right. Or what I did yesterday on this other piece that I was playing with, I ended up with tears and ended up filling it with a little bit of, I had a little metallic paint and I put some on my finger and just rubbed it in. So do not worry about actually the best idea is to be working on two things at once. So one can dry a little bit as you're working on the second one. So you're welcome to do more than one. And for those of you who are watching this taped, you have all the time in the world to create as many as you like. These will make wonderful gifts, but the main point is that you're creating this for yourself. So no matter what it looks like, no matter what you feel like as you're doing it, this is your mini journal right now. It is not something you have to share with anybody or get anybody's approval for, because judgment is not permitted in this room. The circle is judgment-free.
Absolutely, judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free. So I think I'm going to create a bookmark as well. And whoever's watching this live, another surprise will be that you're getting a bookmark. I will be creating a bookmark in this group, and you will be the receiver of this gift in the mail. Now, we usually have music on while we're doing this, and music is actually a really essential tool to have while you're creating. Is that okay for me to do it?
Yeah.
If we could do it, we're only asking because of, you know, the rules of the online game, whether I could have music, but just to show you the different feeling and the different mood that comes into this, literally comes into play.
Yes.
I like your idea of keeping it simple. I have a very plain napkin that I guess it's like a hand towel napkin.
Oh yeah, I like.
But it has a little bit of
colors.
texture. But I'd like to keep this really clean because keeping neat is not my forte.
Mm-hmm.
And this would provide me with a nice
I like
opportunity
this one.
to do something different than I normally do. It gives me breathing room.
Yeah.
So very often, if your life is a certain way, you could do a piece of art that looks very different from your life and reminds you of where maybe you prefer to be and where you are able to be anytime you want, because creating is available to you anytime, and it does take you there. Yeah.
And I love that when we create together, we inspire each other.
I love that. Well, that's how we've gotten here this far.
Yeah.
Nanette is a creative life coach, and I found her, however I found her, but since that day we knew we wanted to do something together.
Yeah. And here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are.
And, you know, people talk negatively about the computer and Facebook and all this, but that's how we're here.
Yeah.
We're here together. We wouldn't have this opportunity 10 years ago. I wouldn't even know how to find anybody. I didn't know how to use email. And it's magical. There's a community here. A lot of people cannot leave their homes, are burdened by illness or caregiving or whatever the reason might be, any responsibility, and they can't get out, and this is their connection to the world. And I have met so many incredible people through the world of Facebook and online classes and workshops that never would have been possible. I would have been isolated due to a chronic illness that I have, and I am so appreciative of this opportunity, and that is my main goal in this, in wanting to share this with those who want to create and want to have connection to other women and don't have the opportunity as much as some.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful intention, and I am so happy to be here to support that. And yeah, I mean, you know, and I've had very similar experience. I love doing in-person workshops, and I do them a lot. I also know that there are more women than those who come to the workshops who say repeatedly, I'd love to come, but I just can't get there. I can't get there. Is there a way?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been coming up for a while now. Is there a way that you can make it possible for me to do this and not have to come
without
Tuesday at 7 o'clock?
That's me. So I could only drive 10 minutes, and very often your classes are too far for me to travel. And this is another way to do it.
So I am going to leave that for just a minute.
I was trying to inspire us. Oh, very pretty. Very pretty.
I'm looking for a little. I'm not sure what I'm going to add as a special embellishment. But I do want to point out that I used, and I see some more here. I'd like to use another piece. So some of you may have seen me cutting my cardboard edges, and here's the little cutouts. And I just
save your what you think is garbage.
Yeah, everything that you think is garbage can be used in your compositions.
You know what I'm emptying right now?
There we go. Oh, I like that.
I just emptied a tea bag.
Ah, perfect.
So I'm glad I didn't throw this out
Ooh,
because
look how
I not only have
pretty
the tea
that
bag,
is.
I have a
The
string
string.
and I have
Yes.
the color.
Love it.
I have no idea what I'm doing with it, but I think I'm gonna
And
make a
it's gonna
flower
be,
out of it.
oh, very nice. Look how, oh, wow.
I don't know if it'll
Love
stay. And you know what? I might cover it up,
Yeah.
but why not try?
Yeah,
So
sometimes, you know, we like me right now, I'm struggling a little bit with trying to make these ribbons stick. So
maybe
I'm gonna,
they don't have to stick.
yeah, and maybe they don't have to stick all the way. So I'm gonna just let it sit for a minute. And as I look at this now, I put this little piece of scrap on there and I don't really love it. So I'm gonna take it off.
All right. So I think the most important thing here is to use your intuition. Don't plan.
Yeah.
Just play.
Yes.
Just
Oh, I
play.
love that. Don't plan, just play.
Just play.
Yay.
I was trying to keep this very basic. So, and that was my mistake. I was planning on keeping it basic
Yes.
when I should have just said, let me tear whatever's in front of me and give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
So forget about the color wheel. Nothing matches on my little bookmark here. And I'm fine with that because I could always change things at any point.
Yeah. So let me also make a bookmark out of scrap.
Here, I have a ready-made
Oh,
piece
good.
of cardboard that I had cut. Oh, here's the one from the cereal box.
There we go.
It's even better. It's thicker.
Yeah. So
I've been having requests for people to make bookmarks for them, which I'm so happy to hear because it means people are still reading
yes.
real books.
Oh yes.
So this is, by the way, the tag from my tea bag, and I'm going to decorate it, but it makes a really cool embellishment to my bookmark, and I'm going to add some ribbon to it as well after.
Well, for some of you, if you have the need to dry things quickly, we didn't bring one
Blow dryer?
today, but a blow dryer is a great addition to this collection
Right.
of goodies we have.
Well, and that's why I think that creating more than one piece at a time. So I'm doing a tile and a bookmark at the same time because the tile has to dry.
Mm-hmm.
The Mod Podge does seem to be taking a little longer and is a little thicker than the glue I normally use. So feel free to experiment
With different, yeah.
Liquitex and Golden's a little more expensive, but there are other companies that make a thinner glue. It's called a matte medium. And I don't have any on hand right now, but it dries within 10 minutes. It is almost completely dry.
Mm.
So feel free to check that out at your local art store. But again, if you can't get out, you can't get out. You have everything. We have found almost everything here just in my junk drawers.
Yep.
In my garage. Try not to throw everything out. Try to save the little things. You never know when you'll be creating again.
There's always something that can be used somewhere for these kinds of projects. And I'm a big fan of using the scraps. You know, so many people say, oh, well, that's just a little teeny tiny piece. I have to, you know, I can't use that.
One drop of color, one
Yeah.
teeny little petal could change an entire piece of art. Just, you can't see it, but it's literally a seed of purple that I'm pulling off of here. If and when I decide to put this on, it will definitely change the whole piece. I have on here, this fell on here before, and I wanted to glue a piece of purple on here because it helped me see that that's what it needed.
Yeah.
So
Lovely.
you never know when that little piece of scrap is going to become an important piece of artwork. So this is quite wet, but I love the texture. I also have some string here, pieces from, I think I had oranges in a bag and I cut this off. It's just a textured piece that I could even use as a stencil. I found this, I don't even know where I found this, but it's just a stiff piece of ribbon that I might wrap on here.
Nice.
make it look a little more gifty to myself.
Mhm.
We do need to give ourselves gifts. Ooh, I like that. That's what you mentioned before. I
Yeah,
definitely
and
like that.
this one, I did point it out earlier. This is an old
File folder.
file folder.
Excellent.
And I just love the color.
Oh,
And
I love it.
in this section where the paper's all falling apart, it has awesome texture. And yeah.
I think I need to use a piece.
Go right ahead.
I love this. This
Yeah.
is like a ready-made
Oh, it's
artifact.
yeah.
So I think I'm going to cut a little top there. This is terrific. So it looks
And
like
that's
I'm gonna
why
be
we
making
create
3.
together.
I'm going to be making 3 things at once.
So I want to be conscious of our time and also just check in, because one of the important things that we wanted to illustrate with this gathering is, and we chose the midday for those of you on the East Coast anyway, because you can take this 60 minutes. Really, these things are taking how long, Gail, if we check in at the time?
20 minutes.
It took us 20 minutes to make these. And it didn't require a lot of setup, obviously, because we're doing it here as a class for you, and we had to
have
set
all
up and
these
have
materials.
everything out.
Right.
But I do this kind of thing at home where I keep just a simple bin. Gail's got a couple of these
Some little
loaf pans, these
Right.
little loaf pans with a few supplies in them.
So if I just had this and a few pieces of tissue paper, paper towel, some leaves, a bamboo stick. Yeah, not bamboo. What do you call it? A skewer. A skewer.
Oh, like a skewer. And
Yeah.
oh, look at that, broken up. That's
Right.
awesome.
Some leaves. What else? What else do you want to throw into my pile?
A little bit
A
of
ribbon.
glue, a ribbon.
This is a collage right here.
Yeah.
And some words.
Right.
You can find words in an old book, in a magazine, anything that resonates with you, and just keep it by the side with some glue, any glue that you choose. And if you don't even have glue, Scotch tape for now. Use some tape and just get it down.
Yeah.
And make it yours. Make it your own.
Yep. And you have it available whenever.
And don't forget to keep a piece of chocolate in there.
Yes. A treat for yourself.
Tea on the side, a candle. Always have those little special things by your side. You never know when you're going to need them, when you're going to want them, or when you're going to choose them.
Right.
So, are your fingers full of glue yet?
They are. I've been good about trying to wipe mine away.
I keep forgetting.
And I like the idea of these things with some texture.
Yes. I've used a little piece of lace yesterday that I found. I don't remember what.
Bookmarks for whatever reason. That feels good for me.
No. I found this the other day too.
Mm-hmm.
I save words and very often just use some tea to stain them, so they look a little ancient.
Yes, nice.
And a little vintage. We have buttons. Anything goes. But again, we're being inspired today by nature, so I have some flowers and a bird and a little bit of twig. There's a stick here. I'm not sure how I'm going to use that yet. But I think I'm going to cover the tag on this. I have a little bit of paint here. So I think I'm just going to cover this tag just so I could write something on it or add something else. I love the metallics as embellishments.
You know what? I think
Do you want to try some?
There's a silver one because what's happening for me over here is that a little bit of the nice.
It just takes one drop to change the entire piece. If you don't have this, you can add it another time. If you find yourself out of the house and you see a little bit of metallic paint. I also have a metallic marker here.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to use that as well.
And what was happening for me here is that some of the blue from the the cereal box was shining through, and I
You
wasn't
wanted to
really
cover
loving
it?
that, and so I wanted to cover it up.
Okay, awesome. Now, again, whatever you're deciding now, you might change your mind about in a few minutes and do
Right,
something
as
else.
it continues to expand.
Feel free to just use your intuition. That is the key to everything here, is your intuition. So if you say, I don't know what to do, close your eyes, and the first word, the first thought that comes to your mind, just do that.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong. And again, we are just playing here. We're just practicing here. I have no clue what I'm doing, and I've been doing collage for a long time. I'm just throwing on whatever I can and we'll see what happens once it dries.
Well, and the beauty is that with collage, you can just keep layering too, right? That's and you've taught me that, Gail,
right?
But don't worry about it. Just put something else on top of it.
Exactly.
So what?
Just let it dry a little bit
and then see what happens.
I think what I'm after on this piece, on the bookmark, is texture. So
and I'm loving the way that this with the paint.
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys can see that.
Catching the tops of it.
Yeah. And this was just the paper towel, and then just lightly painting over the top, you get the texture highlighted with the metallic paint.
Right. And if you put sticks on there, the same thing, or this little flower here, if it stays, it might not stay, it might fall off. If it does, I might just touch it with a little metallic and it'll have a really, really pretty look to it. So if this doesn't stick, I might end up using a hot glue gun at some point.
Yeah, I was going to say, there are some things that might need a little different adhesive when we get all said and done.
Right.
Do you ever use on things like this a spray adhesive when it's finished to give it a gloss? Or
I have used spray adhesives and I don't have a problem with them. They stink really bad.
Yeah, that's true.
But I generally use a brush on a gloss. Again, by Liquitex or any of those companies make it, and it really builds up the color and makes it puts a lot of depth into your piece.
Nice.
So it's not necessary. You'll see how your piece looks once it dries, but it does add a little bit of a professional touch to it. Not that that's what we're looking for here at all.
Right.
Have you tried the dryer sheet yet? Because
no,
I'm not sure where it is, but I really wanted to give it a try and see if it sticks. I think that would be a fabulous addition. It's something that almost everybody has in their own home.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I've seen whole pieces of art made with dryer lint.
Here it is.
Also.
Oh, I have too.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome.
Here, I'm going to try sticking this on and see what happens. Because this is definitely a new material for me. I'm adhering it to my little bookmark. And the nice part is I could see through it.
Oh, yes. Nice.
And I'm folding the edges over so they're not even, because I think it's just going to look so much cooler.
It's kind of cool that way. So
it's difficult to see when you're putting the Mod Podge glue on what your piece will look like, because it is white right now, but it will dry clearly. So know that you will have a clearer picture in the end.
Yeah, so you can see that happening a little bit on my piece here, although there's still plenty of glue to dry, but it is getting a little clearer as we go along. And it looks like I might have gotten lucky and my little ribbons may stay.
Oh, good for you. Well, that's just bonus when it happens. Yeah. I love your collage pieces.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
The texture is incredible.
I'm really excited about that.
I think the only thing we've created together in the past is we did the Muse workshop.
Yes.
And we created these beautiful, not life-size, but they're the size of my arm, muses. And I think we're going to do that in this group as well.
Oh, absolutely.
They were fabulous.
Yeah, they take a little bit more time sometimes, but we can do, I'm sure we can do the short version on the cardboard. That was fun, where we did cardboard cutouts.
Okay, so smaller cutouts.
Yeah, and that would be easier to do. So let's talk, we've got about 10 minutes left. Let's
what would you like to do?
Finishing these up. Okay. So what are you going to do as a finishing touch there?
I think on the bookmark, because there's so many layers and it needs to dry, I think I'm just going to write or find a word to add to this little tag. And then as a finishing touch on this is I think I'm going to add a little bit of metallic marker and see if that works, because
And I have some paints over here.
I have a quiet spot right here I need to add to it. Oh, I'm going to use that. That might be better. Now
So
it's all fancy with my gold little embellishments on my, I'm framing it with the gold a little bit.
Nice.
So usually on my art pieces, I do a dark edge, but I kind of like this. This makes it look more like a present to myself.
Nice.
And I wrapped a ribbon on top, so I haven't finished the sides, but what I'm going to do in the end, in the very end to finish this, is I'm just going to add a little paint along the edges, and you guys could do that as well, just to make your piece look more finished. And if you're so inclined to, or you want to give it as a gift in the end, whatever's in the back, whether it's whatever it is, you could just take some white, titanium white paint, it's called acrylic paint of any brand, and just paint that, and it'll cover it completely opaquely. You won't see through it. I didn't expect to really create anything today. Yeah. Did you?
I think I'm having fun.
I thought I'm going to play, but I didn't realize I'm going to create something that I could actually use. I'm going to use this bookmark.
Love it.
Yeah. How much time do we have left here?
Just about 7 minutes left. Let's call it.
So we're going to do a closing.
I think we probably won't ever be exact, but for me, I think what I will do with this is cut another piece of the cardboard and put that on the back to start.
Make it firmer.
Make it so. I did use 2 pieces. I'm feeling like I could use another, and I might even go so far as to use a thicker piece of cardboard.
Yeah, I have another suggestion for you. I don't have anything here.
The blocks.
But it could be a block or a canvas. So what I've done is I adhere it. I think we need something bigger than this. Is there something larger?
Like that. Oh yeah, use it as a, yes.
Yeah, it's still not big enough, but
something that would
that's bigger. Well, let's say it was this.
Look at that.
I would glue this on, whether it's with hot glue or whatever. And you could always paint around, this is already painted, but you could always paint around the edge. And you have a finished piece that you could put on a little stand, or you could use as a coaster. These are great coasters.
Yeah.
So I love these tiles. All they are they're, I don't know what you call it. It's like it's an unfinished textured tile that you could easily get at any of the hardware stores. I painted it white, but that's not necessary. Yeah. I have made beautiful nature-inspired collages with those, and that's what reminded me to do this. Yeah. I had them somewhere else, but there's also ribbon and string if you want to make your piece look a little more raw or unfinished, more natural. I have burlap here. Burlap is a fun thing to use as well. It's a little harder to stick.
I like the idea of additional texture.
I do too.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like the idea.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm missing on this piece is a little bit of texture. So if you see anything that...
Now, to make this stick a little better, I think I'm going to flatten it a little bit. And it's feeling like it wants, oh, look at that.
What'd you do? It's
feeling like it wanted to split. So I'm
let it
splitting it.
Right, let it
As I was flattening it, it started to feel like it wanted to split. And I was feeling like it needed more than just one
split.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll stick because it's too thick. But...
yeah, sometimes.
All right, so I think my goal in this one, whether it's today or another time, will be to add more texture to it. So texture means anything that will have a bumpy, sensory feeling to it. Because this bird belongs in the tree. And we're back to the trees.
Yeah.
Or the bird belongs in the sky and doesn't need the tree, because I love birds. Since they get to go wherever they want, whenever they want to go. They just get to fly away.
This stick.
And that's what you get to do when you're creative. You're going to a different place in time. And it's hard to be upset or angry or even sad when you're creating, because you're doing something that your body really needs you to do and your mind needs you to do. I'm going to call this done for today. I'm just going to add texture to it next time. But here is my piece. And I haven't finished my bookmark yet, but I will be adding, I'm going to just try to find a word quickly to add to it.
I have just starting to add some little finishes here with some additional.
I think I need my glasses.
These nature pieces.
What did you put?
Added this.
Oh, it's so pretty. I love how clean it is.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that from the butterfly, the upside down butterfly?
Oh, this
the floral piece.
Oh yeah, it's here.
So Nanette took what I thought was tissue paper that was a beautiful butterfly and turned it over, and there was something, in my opinion, even prettier on the other side.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
Wow, here's some more.
Yeah, I like that. And so in this piece, I can see now I'm being inspired by this leaf pattern, looking for something because I'm feeling like this corner here needs a little something. And so that leaf pattern, even though I was originally saying that I was going to try to use only stuff that came out of the trash,
You're going to go into nature?
I'm going to go into nature a little bit here. I was trying to replicate nature with the trash pieces, but I am going to go into nature.
I added the word splendid radiance to it, which I found in an old book. And for years, I was hesitant to cut anything out of books because I was taught that we don't do that. But I did have books that I was giving away that were a little damaged, and I decided to take a few words out of each one. And I have a little treasure box of words now.
Nice. Yeah, don't hesitate to keep those little treasure boxes. And I know some of you are probably concerned that you're going to end up with junk all over the place. And so when I say a treasure box, it can literally be just a single shoebox. If you see how small these things are, you could have lots and lots of treasures in a single shoebox. And so it's okay to say, you know what, I don't want it to be more than that I'm keeping. I'm just keeping a few little pieces. And that's what you work with.
Right. I'm saving whatever remnants are lying here. I'm not throwing them away. I am saving them in my little box so we could use them next time. The smallest piece could become your greatest treasure in the end in your art piece. So don't hesitate to save these little gifts. Ooh, I don't have anywhere to put this, but I'm saving it for next time. And we would normally have music on right now.
Yeah, we will figure out how to get our chit-chat. We'll figure out how to get our music going for next time, I think.
So I hope you're having fun with whatever you're doing, and remind yourself that there is no right way to do this. As long as you're creating, even if you're planning on creating and you're just going through magazines or going through old books or thinking about it or going outside and taking pictures of things you might want to use in your collages. Or something you might want to use as future reference, a color or color combination that catches your eye. Please save it, because we have so many projects coming up in the next episodes, and you are going to be so happy to have things that you chose personally on days that you noticed something that was spectacular to you.
Yeah. So as we wrap up today, go ahead and change this so we can see each other. Since we've been talking to the hand.
Well, I can't touch my hair because it's full of glue.
All right, let's see what we have here. I make this. Yes.
The joys of being in the kitchen. We have a sink.
Yes.
To wash the hands. So sorry for the sound effects, but this is the everyday. We're not
Right.
trying to put on any airs. We're not in a fancy studio. We are in our own kitchen. So you could be at your coffee table. You could be on your bed. You could be at your desk, anywhere, at your kitchen table, and you could be creating. No excuses to seed the day. And I know you've heard seize the day, but we're seeding the day. Oh, I didn't add my seed.
I
My
know,
little
I've
seed.
been looking for mine too.
Oh, no. Okay, know that our intention is to add our seeds. They were on, here, there.
Ah, there's one.
So
Yep,
that is what's
there's one.
missing. There's my texture, is a seed.
Here.
And I'm putting mine right here. And that's a reminder to myself to seed the day. I added it right over there. It's hard to see because it has glue on it.
Yeah, I know
but-
mine is too, because I've got a lot of glue on mine too.
Oh, I'm so happy we remembered this. Actually, I'm going to move it. So back to changing the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's mine, my little seed.
Oh, beautiful.
And it's a reminder to me for growth and for embracing and evolving, not involving,
Mm.
but definitely getting involved in my artwork
Yes.
and in our artwork and in communicating with everybody online.
There we go. Yeah, so as we wrap up, a couple things for those of you, and let me move around to the other side. Couple of things we want to remind everybody about is that you'll see invitations over on the Creative Parts and Healing Circle page. That is the public open community for everyone who wants to come and just stay connected and see what it is that Gail and I are creating and the whole community is creating. It's a wonderful way to stay connected to each other.
It's not necessary to share your project, but we'd be happy to see them. Even a section of them, if there's just one little part of your piece that you're enjoying, take a picture of it and blow it up so we could take a look at it. Even if it's a color combination that you think is cool, we'd love to see it.
And so we will also then be posting the invitations to our next event on that page. When you register for the group and commit to being a member with us, then we'll be providing more support over on a private Facebook group. So, and that will have some additional components, and you already know that we're going to be sending out surprises to those of you who register. Know that the materials lists will be over, will be posted for you
Each time.
and we'll give you some indication of what the theme is going to be, so you can work with that a little bit. And we'd love to hear your ideas, anything that you would like to see us do together. We're going to be doing this. Our intention is to do it almost weekly, as frequently as we can. We'll have a calendar up shortly. Bear with us while we deal with some of our
Yes,
own
like
learning
as
curve
I'm
for that.
crouching down over here.
As we're dealing with our own learning curve about the materials and the technology and the things that we can use and make it easier. If you have any questions, please reach out.
If there's anything that stood out that you really enjoyed, or even any suggestions of how to change things, if you don't feel comfortable putting it on the Facebook page, just feel free to PM Nanette or myself.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea?
Absolutely.
Send us a note.
Yeah, please.
We're excited to hear your ideas. We don't have all the ideas. We only have suggestions. So
And
whatever
we
you
love
do
creative
from there,
inspiration from others.
love
right?
it, love it. And if you found something magical today while you were creating, or you found some inspiration in something that you did, please let us know, because we are all very open to sharing here in this group. There's no, what do we say? There's no airs about it. We don't stand on ceremony, and we're open to everything. We're open to any of your suggestions.
So with that, we will say goodbye for now.
Oh, this was fun.
Yes, it really was.
Well, hold up your piece one last time. We'll hold up a few of our pieces. Can I reach yours?
Mine? Yeah, it's still pretty
Where's
wet.
the other one? this awesome collage piece. I love this.
Yeah, this one is gonna be fun. To
This
see
one
what
would be
this
really
does.
cool posted on something else.
Yeah.
But again, it's yours to do with
Yeah.
whatever you choose.
Yeah.
So here we are, Nanette and Gail, and we hope that you had fun seeding the day. And get ready in your mailboxes. Send us your addresses if you saw this live. We know who you are. And we will send you our gift box, our gift envelope, which is full of goodies and maybe even an extra surprise. All right. Bye-bye. See you soon.